This is a podcast from the Business Times.
Good morning. It's Friday, July 31st, 2026. From the Business Times news desk, here are your headlines. What you need to know. UEFA and all 55 European member nations vote unanimously to boycott the World Cup, threatening to blow apart FIFA's plan to sell private stakes in its tournaments. Microsoft jumps 15% overnight, its biggest single-day gain in 18 years, adding $450 billion in market value. North Korea warns a Korean peninsula clash is now a matter of timing, not possibility. In world news, the biggest sports governance story in years broke yesterday Singapore time. UEFA and all 55 of its European member nations voted unanimously to boycott the World Cup and all FIFA tournaments unless FIFA abandons its plan to sell private stakes in its competitions. FIFA's proposal, announced Tuesday, involves creating a $20 billion subsidiary to run the World Cup and selling stakes of up to 20% to external investors, with each of FIFA's 211 member associations offered $20 million to accept the plan by mid-September. The Asian Football Confederation also issued a scathing letter warning the proposal would never succeed without the support of all regional blocs. The immediate impact: the 2027 Women's World Cup in Brazil begins in under a year. On Gaza, mediators in Cairo have reported progress in talks with Hamas on a disarmament framework. A statement attributed to discussions cited by Reuters described it as a potential agreement on structured disarmament phases. However, sources close to the talks told Reuters the outcome remains uncertain, and an Israeli official said the proposed terms were not satisfactory in the region. North Korea's state media KCNA published an editorial today warning that a clash on the Korean peninsula is now, in its words, a matter of timing rather than just a possibility, citing what it called the expansion of U.S. forces Japan into a full-fledged war command. Tokyo's core inflation accelerated in July, a sign of broadening price pressures from the Middle East conflict that keeps the Bank of Japan on track for further rate hike consideration. Separate data showed Japanese factory output rose in June, with manufacturers projecting further increases in July and August. In Singapore, the number of private cars in Singapore has fallen to its lowest level since 2019, 516,237 units, as high car prices push more drivers toward rentals and ride-hailing. Rental cars hit a record 97,567 units. Private car ownership's share of the total car population has slipped to 79% from 82.5% in 2021. In companies and markets, Microsoft surged 15% overnight Singapore time, its biggest single-day gain in 18 years, after delivering a strong earnings forecast that eased investor concerns about AI infrastructure spending. The jump added $450 billion in market value in a single session, which is the largest single-day gain for any company in Wall Street history, according to Reuters. The rally lifted chip stocks broadly. South Korea's Kospi soared over 14%, rebounding from a three-day sell-off, with SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics surging. The MSCI Asia-Pacific gauge climbed for a second consecutive day. The Bank of Japan held rates at 1% at its meeting today, as widely expected, and upgraded its GDP forecast for fiscal 2026 to 0.8%. Governor Ueda holds a press conference at 2:30 this afternoon Singapore time, with markets watching for signals on the timing of the next hike. The yen came under renewed pressure after Tokyo intervened in currency markets yesterday, with the dollar recovering to 160.175 yen after a 2.4% drop in the previous session. And stocks we're watching include Great Eastern, Hong Kong Land, and Jardine Matheson, which yesterday reported 9% growth in underlying profit for the first half ended June 30th. For updates throughout your day, visit bt.sg. And don't forget to check in with our weekly wrap podcast, Market Focus Weekly, at 6 this evening.
This is a podcast by the Business Times. Find more BT podcasts at businesstimes.com.sg/podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.